What's up guys, it's Moose here, and I know typically I make a lot of tour videos and information-based videos, but today it's going to be slightly different. Today I wanted to talk about not feeling like you're good enough, or sometimes it's called imposter syndrome, because you feel like an imposter and you feel like you don't belong, and that's something I felt a lot when I started college, and it's something I still feel to this day. At this moment right now, I do feel like I'm not enough because of how things are going in my life right now. And I know it's just the thing that goes in your head. It's what they call intrusive thoughts that keeping popping into your head, where it always tells you that you're not enough, you're not doing enough, and you're not good. And it's something I've always struggled with. So I just wanted to talk about that and my journey through it, and how I navigate through these feelings, and how I've overcome it, or I'm trying to at least. So let's get right to it. To give a little bit of context, I didn't have the easiest time in high school. I struggled a lot, mostly because of my mental health. I was taking advanced level courses my first 2 years, and then my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and we knew that he didn't have a long time to live. So it was something a lot for me, just being able to accept the fact that my dad was going to die, and knowing that there wasn't any cure for him, and going through school and being able to navigate that. It wasn't the easiest for me, and I felt like I had the worst time ever, because I wanted to enjoy my time in high school, but I couldn't, because I was always thinking about my dad, I was always thinking about my family, and that started slowly affecting my grades to the point where I had a hard time going to school, because I just felt sick and I didn't have the motivation to, which led me to fail my sophomore year of high school because of absences. I failed a bunch of classes and dropped my GPA. Got me even more depressed, and I didn't really think college was going to be for me for then. Going into junior year, my dad's condition started getting worse. He got so sick to the point where he was in the hospital almost all the time. He couldn't walk on his own, and with that, my mental health kept on declining farther too. I knew that he was going to die, and I couldn't do anything about it, and college necessarily wasn't the right thing in my head. And not even college, I didn't even think I was going to finish high school at some points, even though I knew that something I had to do. I felt like I wasn't good enough to do anything because of all the things that was going on in my life. But my mom kind of made me go to college, because that was the next thing for me. And when I started, I did not want to be here. I moved into my dorm room, and I was super depressed. I felt like I was surrounded by all these smart people, people that knew what they were doing, people that were passionate about the careers that they were about to pursue. And I was over here just sitting in my dorm room, super depressed, wanting to be home because I wanted to be closer to my dad. My first semester, my grades were super terrible because I just couldn't focus in classes. And I always kept on comparing myself to others, and other students that called every single day to their parents and they were healthy. I kept on thinking, like, I wish I was that lucky. And I just felt like maybe I shouldn't be here around all these smart people. Maybe I shouldn't be around all these people that have their life together. And looking back at that, it was really hard for me. And my RA noticed that. My RA had a conversation with me at like 12 a.m. this one time when I was doing my homework, and I started crying. And we had this conversation about feeling like an imposter, because he was a first-generation college student, and he was talking about how he felt the same way. And that was like the first time in my life ever where someone actually told me that I wasn't the only person feeling like they were a fish out of water. It was really hard for me that day. It was super hard, but it made me realize that I probably wasn't the only person. And we had this conversation about me getting involved on campus, and maybe meeting other people and reaching out and just leaving my room for once, which led me to joining a student organization. I joined the Residence Hall Association, which is an org at UNT where you basically join a group of 5 student leaders and they give you like a budget, and you make programs, and you have weekly meetings with someone that's your director who basically supervises you. And that was probably one of the best decisions I ever made because it gave me perspective of where I was and where I was headed. Along with my RA, gave me an idea of what I could be, because he told me that how he felt was the same as me. When he first started college, he didn't think he was going to make it through either, but he did because he worked his butt off, and he had that perspective of looking at where he was versus where he is now, and that really put a lot into my perspective. I started going into a leadership role, and that really helped me because it built my confidence, because I didn't really have that much confidence in my leadership skills. I didn't think I was ever going to be the kid that I am now. I never thought that I would have ever had a job where I would be the front line of customer service for an entire department like housing, where I would be giving presentations to kids from all across America and kids from all across Texas and showing them their first impression of UNT. That's something I did literally last year, and I did it for almost 2 years. Next year I'm going to have 40 students almost under me that I'm going to be helping them. I never thought those were things I would ever be able to achieve. And those aren't things I never thought about. But being in a leadership position really helped me. It helped me put things in perspective of, yes, my life hasn't always been the easiest, but it made me realize that it's gotten better. Looking at how I used to be versus now, I can see the small little progresses that I've made in my life in terms of my leadership skills, in terms of feeling like I'm good enough, in terms of just knowing that if I put in the work, if I take a risk, if I do something that's uncomfortable, I can get to where I want to be. And even when I have those thoughts about, wow, you're a failure, I can objectively look at my life and think about how I was in high school, think about how I felt in high school, and look at things I've accomplished now. And even when I fail at things, I can look at my failures in the past and look at now, and it puts a lot into perspective for me. So I'm talking about things in a very roundabout manner, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're feeling like you're the only person that's going through something where you feel like you're alone and you're not good enough, it's not true. You are enough, and there are others that feel the same way too, and every single one of you are enough, and every single one of you deserves so much more. But it comes with patience, and it comes with understanding where you're coming from. You have to be patient with yourself, and you have to be kind to yourself, and you have to feel your emotions. Being sad is okay, feeling insecure is okay, but at the same time we have to look at ourselves and look at what we can do to make ourselves feel better. For me, it was getting involved on campus. For me, it was meeting a plethora of different people, learning from their experiences, learning new leadership skills, getting involved on campus, and helping kids that felt the same way I did my freshman year is what empowered me to be in the position I am right now. I became an RA not because I wanted free housing. It's a nice perk, but at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that every single person I meet has a better experience and let them know that they're not alone when they're going through a college journey, because it's extremely hard. And that's what empowered me to be in a place where I am. And even though right now I feel like I'm not doing enough and it feels like crap, I know that it's just a moment where I feel like this, and at the end of the day, I'm always going to have people that are going to be there for me. I'm always going to have the achievements that I've had. And at the end of the day, all it takes is to take a second to put things into perspective and look at where you were a year ago and look at where you are now. Look at the improvements you've done. Look at things from an abundance model rather than looking at everything that's been wrong. And just understanding your emotions and feeling uncomfortable with it. And that's what's helped me. So I know this video is not the most organized one because I'm just talking about my feelings, but if anyone is watching this and they feel like they're not going to make it, or they're scared and they're not good enough, they are. You are good enough to do anything you set your mind to. if I can deal with my dad's death, and if I can make it through that, and if I can make it through college and get to where I am right now, where I'm thinking about going to graduate school when I didn't even think I was going to make it to college, you can do it too, because I'm not special in any way. It's just the fact that I had an army of people that helped me get to where I am. And when you're starting college or you're starting any journey, there's going to be people that want to help you. All you have to do is reach out and take that risk of reaching out for help and just thinking about the things you've accomplished and just keep moving forward. That's all it takes. And that's just all I wanted to talk about today. I know it's not the most organized video, but yeah, I hope y'all have a good day.